Imagine landing the perfect job. You earn a staggering salary, take 5-month summer vacations, carry a sword to display your high social rank, and your children are legally allowed to marry into the nobility. But you spend every day looking over your shoulder. If you ever try to quit, or even step foot outside your city without permission, the government will imprison your family. If that doesn't bring you back, they will dispatch an assassin to hunt you down and kill you. The imposing architecture of the Doge's palace, seen here, represents the absolute authority of the 13th century Republic of Venice, and the top secret intelligence they were killing to protect was the recipe for making glass. For the Venetian government, mastering the luxury trade required deploying a ruthless, lethal national security apparatus to protect their intellectual property. This map of the 13th century Mediterranean highlights Venice as a wealthy, highly connected maritime republic. They acted as a middleman, shipping goods between Europe and the Levant, the coastal region of the Middle East covering modern-day Syria, Lebanon, and Egypt. At this time, the absolute highest quality luxury glass on the planet came entirely from the Islamic empires in the Middle East. They had the advanced techniques, and they held the raw materials. Looking at the trade routes, we see Venice drastically reducing imports of finished glass, replacing them with massive shipments of Levantine plant ash. This ash was the crucial chemical flux needed to lower the melting point of sand, allowing Venetians to reverse engineer the craft. If a state controls the raw materials and reverse engineers the manufacturing recipe, they completely dominate the global luxury economy. But they have to make absolutely sure no one else steals their new blueprint. In 1291, the Venetian government issued a sweeping decree forcing all glassmakers out of the main city and onto Murano, the cluster of small islands shown here, situated directly across the lagoon. The official excuse was public safety. Glass furnaces reach extreme temperatures, and a stray spark could easily burn down Venice's dense wooden architecture. The real reason was geographical quarantine. By placing the entire industry on a single island, the state could easily monitor all raw materials coming in, all finished goods going out, and exactly who was moving around. The Council of Ten, the Venetian State Security Committee, ran a strict surveillance operation over Murano to ensure zero intellectual property leaked to foreign competitors. To keep the artisans compliant, the state offered massive incentives. Glassmakers enjoyed a truly luxurious lifestyle, high wages, and a level of social mobility that elevated mere craftsmen to near-noble status. But the punishment for defiance was absolute. Leaving the island without state permission was a direct act of treason, punishable by death. Murano became a literal golden cage. It was a paradise for the world's greatest artisans, as long as they accepted their status as highly paid prisoners of the state. Inside the walls of Murano, enduring the blistering heat of the furnaces you see here, these isolated craftsmen developed astonishing new technologies. In the 15th century, a master glassblower named Angelo Baravir achieved a massive breakthrough. He created a glass called cristallo by adding manganese dioxide, a specific chemical decoloring agent, to the molten mixture to remove all natural tints. This cristallo goblet demonstrates exactly why that mattered. For the first time in history, glass was perfectly clear, mimicking the purity of carved rock crystal. It immediately became the ultimate status symbol for European royalty. The Murano masters pushed further. This bowl features filigrana, a complex lace glass created by embedding thin, colored glass canes directly into the clear crystal to create intricate floating patterns. They also invented opaque milk glass to carefully imitate Chinese porcelain. These physical breakthroughs elevated a basic craft into highly advanced material science, entirely justifying the Venetian Republic's paranoia and lethal security measures. Operating at peak efficiency during the Renaissance, Murano churned out thousands of luxury items for global export, dominating the market. The situation created a perfect historical irony. Venetian glass became so chemically and artistically superior that merchants began exporting it directly back to the Islamic Middle East. The records show the Ottoman Sultan and his court ordering hundreds of specific items, like enameled mosque lamps, directly from the furnaces of Murano. Through deliberate espionage, meticulous, careful reverse engineering, and ruthless internal enforcement, the eager student became the undisputed master, selling to the exact empires that once held all the secrets. But as we move into the 17th century, Venice faced a universal truth. No technological secret can be contained indefinitely. The fatal blow landed in 1612 with the publication of L'arte vetraria, or The Art of Glass. This book explicitly leaked the proprietary Venetian chemical recipes to the entire world. The fallout was immediate. Foreign monarchs successfully poached Murano masters, paying them enough to risk the assassins, and the Venetian style quickly spread across Europe. The definitive end of the monopoly finally arrived in 1797, when Napoleon Bonaparte conquered the city and dissolved the Venetian Republic. Without the terrifying enforcement apparatus of the state to maintain the golden cage, the intellectual property flowed freely, and the Venetian empire of glass shattered. Today, tourists view Murano glass as delicate, pretty art, a beautiful souvenir purchased on an Italian holiday. But this overwhelmingly complex, multicolored floral glass chandelier represents what was once the most fiercely guarded intellectual property on the planet. The story of Venetian glass proves that true global power requires inventing the best ideas and then executing terrifying measures to protect them.